Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, we'll be learning about functions, okay? But before we learn about functions, I would like to tell you something which I missed to tell you all in the earlier videos, in the earlier video especially. Over there, you could see the four statements, if statements, while statements, okay? They end in colon, okay? So every four if statements or while statement end in in a colon, okay? And whenever you press enter, okay, you have an indentation over there, you see here, okay? So the if is indented by a tab, okay? So what it means is your indentation is very important, okay? If you don't indent it properly, let's say it happens to be like this, okay, this is going to fail, okay? So let me try to run it, okay? Here you see there is a failure, okay? Now I indent it properly, okay? Sorry, str1, okay, I did not uncomment this. Here you go, okay? So indentation is very important in Python, so it's better to use some IDEs which do the indentation automatically for us, okay? And if you write in a notepad, you may have to be careful about the indentation, okay? So indentation is very important, okay? And this is very readable, okay? So all these are inside the for, okay? Now this if also has an indentation, which means all indented in this particular indentation are all related to this if clause, and all this here is for this else, okay? So that is why indentation is very important, okay? So after this, now let's get back into our routine scheduled our scheduled learning, okay? So today we'll be learning about user defined functions, okay? Earlier I have been mentioning about function and methods, okay? Usually functions are independent, as I already said, okay? And your methods come with some instances, okay? Some instance of object, okay? So we'll be coming into methods later on, but now let's look into the functions. We already saw some inbuilt functions like your range, like your print, like your input, okay? And like your int, okay? Over here, user defined functions are written by users by themselves, okay, like you all and like me, okay? And we give a name to it, okay? So it is a name block, okay, which block of code, okay, which is reusable, okay? Once you define it, okay, you can use that named block of code, okay, again and again whenever you require it, okay? So it's and it contains usually contains a single related actions, okay? So that is all about what is a function, okay? It's just a block of code which has a name, and we can use it anywhere we want inside our program, okay? So how does your function starts, okay? It starts with the keyword def, okay, def, okay? So and then the name of the function, okay? Over here the name of the function, okay, is my underscore func1, okay? And we have a open and close brackets, okay, which is your normal round brackets, okay? So and we have a colon here, okay, similar to our if and for, okay? We have a colon here, and after that I'm declaring some variables here. So this is where you write all your executable codes, okay, which are reused again and again. And do remember, okay, in most of the other programming languages your function will always return some value, okay? So but in Python this is not compulsory, okay? But here I'm returning C, okay, where here see I'm declaring A as 10, okay, B as 20, and I'm doing a mathematical operation, okay, which on C, A and B, and giving the output to C, and I'm saying return C here. What return C means here is you can now assign this particular function, okay, to a variable. That means when you similar to your input, okay, it will return this value, okay. So over here I'm declaring a variable var1, okay, and what I'm saying here is execute my func1, okay, do the operation, and whatever it is returning, give it to var1, okay. And your return statement may return any kind of values, okay. It doesn't mean that it has to return an integer, okay, and it is free to return any kind of values, okay, any data type, okay. And see, unlike other say programming languages, we don't have to define what kind of variable it returns over here, because it may not have the return statement at all, okay. So let's see what happens here is your my func1 adds 10 and 20, and it is returning 20, which goes to var1 and it prints the var1, okay. Let's execute this. Here you go, 10 plus 20 is 30, okay. Now over here the function open and close bracket, okay, what it means is inside this bracket we can pass parameters, okay, like in other programs, okay. And in other programs we need to define the data type of the parameters we are passing, but in our Python, okay, that is not required, okay. You can pass any type of data type, okay. So parameters are passed inside the open and close brackets of the function name, okay, separated by commas. So it means two parameters here, okay. So whenever you call this function, you need to pass these two parameters, okay. Over here it's the same way, same thing, okay. But what I'm doing here is I'm including parameters in my function, okay. So in my function, let me make it function 2, okay, instead of function 1, function 2, function 2, okay. So what I'm doing here is instead of doing 10 plus 20, because every time I don't want to use 10 and 20, okay, I want to use something else, so I use parameters, okay. Let's make it 50, okay. Now what is happening is 50 and 20 is goes as a and b, okay, and here a and b is a plus b is assigned to c, which is 50 plus 20, and because c becomes 70, and this function is returning c, okay, which is 70, is going to var1, and I'm printing var1 here, okay. So it should print 30 and the other one is 70, okay. Let's see here, here you go, 70. So this function is now more user friendly, because you can add any number of any values, okay, not any two values, okay, not restricted to your 10 and 20, okay, which was in the first case here, okay. So that is the usefulness of having parameters, okay. So we'll be learning in more detail about how to use parameters to make our programming more easier and more user friendly, okay. So currently let's just know that we can pass parameters to a function and we can manipulate those parameters, okay. Okay, let me just comment out these, okay. Over here I'm using the same approach, okay, passing a parameter. I'm just doing a simple program here, okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm creating a simple calculator in which I'll pass three parameters, okay. First parameter is the number, first and second parameters are the integers, okay, you want to do something with, or numbers you want to do something with, and OPR is the operation I want to perform on those two numbers, okay. So here I'm saying I'll make it as CALC1, 1. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm defining a function called mycal1. Okay, my underscore cal1, which takes 3 parameters. Okay, now I'm checking if the parameter passed, OPR parameter passed is plus, I'm assigning C equals to A plus B. Okay, with these 2 parameters I'm adding them up. Similarly, if it is minus, I'm subtracting. If it is multiplication, I'm multiplying. If it is division, I'm doing the division over here. I'm returning the value of C over here. Okay, so now what I'm doing here is to make it more user friendly, look like a real life calculator. What I'm doing is I'm accepting inputs, 3 inputs from the user. Num1 is the first number, num2 is the second number. Okay, and operation is what operation I want to perform. Okay, over here, okay, I'm putting int because I want to convert those numbers to that values, string values, to integer, because input always returns a string. Okay, here also the same thing, and operation on it because it is a string. Okay, so let's see, and here whatever value I'm accepting, num1 and num2, okay, I'm passing them to my underscore cal1. Okay, cal1, and then I'm passing the 2 values that I've accepted plus the operation I want to perform. Okay, accordingly it will perform and give you the output. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so let's give the first number as 100, second number as 200, and what I want to perform is plus, so it should give me the operation, okay, which is plus of percentage d, and percentage d is percentage d num1 num2 and then the var1 that I have got here. Okay, so let's see here, the plus of 10 and 200, 100 and 200 is 300. Okay, similarly let's do a division. Okay, let's say 330, and I want to do a division. Okay, here you go, it's 10. Okay, so this is a simple calculator in which I'm passing some parameters. Okay, now almost all the functions, you can say totally Python functions, are passed by reference. All variables passed as parameters can be changed within the function, and same will be reflected in the calling programs. Okay, so what it means is, in most of the other programming languages, okay, here I'm passing value num1 and num2. Okay, now if this num1 and num2, okay, is modified here, okay, inside the function, okay, in this I will get this reflected value in my main program also. Okay, after calling this. Okay, the same thing I'm doing here. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here is, okay, I'm defining a function str1, a function f1, and in which I'm going to pass a string str1. Okay, so str0, okay, the 0th value of the value character at the 0th index, I'm going to make it as shed. Okay, then I'm saying return 0. Okay, now here this is the function. Okay, so let's remove return here. Okay, I told you we may not use return. Now str, I'm defining it as a list of these characters. Okay, now I'm printing the value of str before the calling the function f1, and here I'm assigning, no need to assign here. Okay, so f1 I'm saying str. Okay, I'm passing this parameter a b c d e f to this. Now this str is passed as str1, and the value of str1 at the 0th index I'm changing to shed, which means I'm changing this one also. Okay, this variable. Okay, so after that it should show the value of str as z b c d e f. Okay, so let's see here. Here you go. Okay, before calling it was a b c d e f, and after calling, okay, the value has changed to this one. Okay, so what it means is whatever reference you are passing, okay, whatever variable you are passing, okay, that variable, if it is changed within the function, will also be reflected in the calling program. Okay, so calling program. Okay, now over here all functions in Python, okay, are called by reference if you are passing a variable. Okay, now some of the required parameters, okay, keyword parameters, okay, default parameters and variable parameters. Okay, so let's see here what they mean. Okay, here I'm defining a function func2. Let's make it func3 because func2 I have already used. Okay, and I'm passing a parameter named par. Okay, and I'm passing another parameter age par equals to 20, which means your age par, if this value is not passed, okay, by default it is 20. Okay, so this is the default value. Okay, you can even pass for name par, but let's pass it only for age par now. Okay, and start OTH, what this means is you can give anything here. What this means is any other variables, any other values you pass after this, okay, the first two parameters will go into OTH as a tuple. Okay, so it will be a tuple. Okay, so I will see in the example here. Here we are saying print name is %s and age is %d. I'm inside this function and I'm printing the name par and age par. Okay, now I'm saying for top in OTH. Okay, now OTH, I already said it, all the values after these two parameters are passed as tuple to as OTH. Okay, this can be anything. Okay, now I'm looping through OTH, okay, by using the for loop, okay, and printing the value in the tuple. Okay, the first value, second value. Okay, there may be as many number of value as you want. Okay, so I'm just saying return. Okay, it is returning nothing. So I'm saying my func2 Joseph. Okay, so when it, okay, so what this means is what the first parameter is passed. Okay, all the other parameters are none. Okay, you are not passing any other parameter, only the first parameter. Okay, func3, this will also be func3, this will also be func3. Okay, over here when I'm passing Joseph, okay, as only one parameter, this Joseph goes to name par. Okay, and age par by default is 20, and others there is nothing. Okay, I have not passed anything else. Okay, so now in the next statement what I'm saying is age par 35 and name par Joseph. What this means is if you give the name of the parameter, okay, that you are going to pass, okay, by default, okay, you can put it in any order. Okay, otherwise you need to put in the same order as it is. Okay, like the first one will go to name par and the second parameter will go to age par and any other parameters will go to OTH. Okay, so over here what I'm saying is I'm passing the first parameter as age par, which means this age par equals to 35 will go to this age par, okay, which is currently 20, but as the default value is not required, it will be 35. And name par I'm passing as Joseph, so name par is this one, so this value will be Joseph. So what it means is if you are passing the name of the parameters and the values, okay, you know you can pass it in any order. Okay, you don't need to follow the order. Okay, so if you pass the keywords, okay, then it is, you do not require the sequence of the parameters, you can pass in any way. Okay, and the last one what I'm saying is I'm passing Joseph 40 1 2 3 4 5. Here you need, it's going in a sequence. Okay, Joseph goes to name par, 40 goes to age par, and 1 2 3 4 5 goes to OTH. Okay, so let's see what happens when you execute. See, the first one says name is Joseph and age is 20. Why age is 20? Because I didn't pass the value parameter age par, which is by default 20, so here it printed 20. Okay, Similarly, in the next one, I pass age par as 35, name par as Joseph, so it is printing accordingly. And the third one, okay, I'm passing Joseph 40, which goes to name par and age par, and 1 2 3 4 5, which goes to OTH, and which I am printing here, the OTH. Okay, so this is all about parameters. Okay, and how many parameters can be passed. Okay, many other parameters can be passed apart from the named parameters. Okay, so this is the benefit in Python. Okay, you can pass as many parameters as you like. Okay, but values, okay, but if you are passing the values in a sequence, okay, you can pass as many parameters as you want, and there will be you can handle them. Okay, there is no restriction. Okay, now over here, let's do a small talk on lambda. Lambda actually is a anonymous function, and it is one liner. Okay, you write it in a one line. Okay, so how it works is you give the keyword lambda, okay, and you pass the values. Okay, these are the parameters that it passed to lambda, and after the colon, okay, you pass what you want to do with those values. Okay, so over here what I'm doing is I'm saying sum equals to lambda, so a1 comma a2 colon a1 plus a2. What it means is when you pass parameters to sum, okay, you pass two parameters, and that those parameters will be added and returned. Okay, so I'm saying x equals to sum, okay, which is assigned an anonymous function. Okay, and what the lambda does for this is it takes 10 and 20, passes to a1 and a2, and it adds them up and returns to x when I'm printing x here. Here you go. Okay, if you pass 40 here, 20 and 40 is 60, it will be 60. Okay, sometime in future we'll be learning more in detail about lambda, okay, the anonymous functions. Now what are the information we'll be learning about? What are global and local variables? In fact, global variable is defined outside of the function. Okay, and your variables defined inside your functions are local to that function only. Okay, it cannot be used outside that function. Okay, and you can define the same name variable inside the function. Okay, but that function, that variable, whatever you are doing, okay, will be local to that function only, and out of that function it is not available. Okay, here what I'm doing is, see, I'm declaring a variable add up which is outside the function. Okay, and it's the global, it is called a global variable because this add up, okay, can be available in any of the programs. Okay, anywhere in the program. Okay, so here what I'm saying is I'm defining a function form4. Okay, and I'm passing n1 and n2 two parameters, and the tuple, okay, which is n3. Okay, or more number of parameters other than n1 and n2. Okay, so I'm saying add up equals to n1 plus n2. Add up is your local variable. Okay, so it is adding num1 and num2, which is I'm passing into func4. Okay, now for n1 in n3, okay, what I'm doing is I'm adding this tuple values also. Okay, so add up equals to n, which means add up equals to add up plus n. Here I have already added these two, and now I'm going to add up whatever other values I'm passing. Okay, and then I'm going to print them. Okay, and I'm returning add up also. Okay, now let's see what happens when I call add function 4 with 10 and 20. Okay, so it should return me add up inside the function has local value of percentage add up, which will be 30, and add up outside the function global variable is add up, which will be 0 because this is not changed here. Okay, so and similarly in add up this one, these two numbers are being added by this one. Okay, and these three are being added by this one. Okay, and I'm printing them. Okay, now you see here this print is at the level of, okay, for an add up, which means it belongs to this function. Okay, now and then I'm printing the add up again outside the function. Okay, so this would give me 30, 60, 100, 105 and 0. Okay, so let's run it. Here you go. Okay, add up inside the function as local variable is 30, add up outside the function as global variable is 0, and add up inside the function as local variable is 105. Okay, this one, okay, and outside is this one. Okay, and outside is 0. Okay, so global variables, if you define a variable with the same name as the global variable inside a function, that will be local to that function only. Okay, and whatever changes you made will not be available outside that function. Okay, so this is all about global and local variables. So in the next video, okay, we'll be learning about classes. Okay, class in Python, and that will be more fun. Okay, and after that we'll be moving into NumPy, okay, followed by pandas. Then we'll start with our scikit-learn. Okay, so let me stop here today. See you all in the next video. Thank you.